Hi, my name's Belinda Milton, and I'm going to discuss 3 different Web 2.0 tools. The first one I'm going to discuss is Game Classroom. Game Classroom is a one-stop web destination for accessing high-quality educational games for K through 6 students. You can choose whatever grade level that you teach. I would choose the 5th grade. And it has math games and language arts games. You can choose whichever game, the students can choose whichever game they would like to play. Say they choose small, large, and prime numbers. It gives them the topic of the game, and then all they have to do is hit play game when they're ready to play. They can also get homework help with this program. It has homework help for anything that they might be struggling with. One thing that I really enjoy about this is it helps them with graphs, which is really important in my classroom. So that's nice for them to be able to play around with. If they are learning above 5th grade level, then they can go to 6th grade, or if they're not quite at 5th grade level, they can go to 4th grade. There's different worksheets, videos, lessons, and games on here that you can go to. The advantages of this website is they can play games or get homework help at any time. They can do this at school or at home. And they can access whatever their grade level is or whatever their learning grade level is. The challenges to this, the only thing that I notice is it does only give you homework help or games for math and language arts. It doesn't give them any practice for any other subjects. I would use this in my classroom to practice math skills and learn graphs for math and science. I would use this during my daily 5 activity for word work. This would be a good program for them to use for that. The second tool I was going to go over is called ZapReader. ZapReader is a web-based speed reading program that will change the way they can read on their computer. Some of the advantages of ZapReader is it gives a 300% increase in reading speed without any loss of comprehension, and that it's fun for students. Some of the challenges would be that it would be hard to monitor and make sure that they're putting in information at their reading level and not going below their reading level, just trying to read really fast. I would want my students to be reading at their grade level. And what you do with ZapReader is you can copy and paste whatever passage on the web that you would want to read. You would just copy it and you paste it here. And then you just press zap it. When you press zap it, you'll come to the screen. You can do settings. You can do how many words per minute you want to read, the window size, the chunk size, so how many words you want them to read it at one time. You can choose the font, color, and background color if they're having a hard time reading it for some reason. When you hit play, it just goes through all of the words and they have to try to read it and keep up with it. It's a fun way for them to get to practice on their fluency skills. I would use this in my classroom for daily 5 reading to self and for fluency practice. We do fluency practice every day, so this is a way that I could have the students practice their fluency and not be the same mundane way of teaching it. The third one was my mobile web 2.0 tool, and it is called SumDog. SumDog has educational games that will motivate students to practice their math skills while you have full control over what they learn. The thing I like about SumDog is they can either log in, they would have their own login information, so they could do that. I am going to just log in as a guest so you can see what the program offers. When they log in, there is different levels they can choose from. They can choose from all levels or 1 through 10. There are different topics they can choose from. There's numbers, addition, subtraction, decimals, measurement, word problems, graphs, charts, and there's 233 different skills. Some of the skills is numbers, order numbers up to 1,000, rounding, subtraction, multiplication. You can just go through that. The guest or the student can change their profile, change their avatar. It shows them how many coins they've received. There's different games they can choose from. They can play against their friends, or they can play with students around the world. SumDog does, an advantage is it does have competitions, and they can try to rank nationally in these competitions. If you win in the competition, the teacher can see the student scores. They get a report that shows what the students are struggling with so that you can work on that. Another advantage is they can practice certain sets of skills until it's mastered. If they don't master a question, then it will come back to that question within time. A challenge is that it's only really for math. It's not really set up for other subjects. I was going to show you an example of how they would play a game. It's going to take it just a moment to load. Okay, it's loading the game Junk Pile. And it will give you questions, and you just have to click the answer and drag it down. Drag it down. And if they get one incorrect, it will give them a big red X. That way they can tell that they got that incorrect. Now later on in the game, it's going to come back to that question. And they can just keep playing until they've mastered that, and then it'll go on to the next level. I would use this game for math practice during my extra time. A lot of times I use this in my computer lab if we don't have a specific skill or project that we're working on, then I will let them use this in their spare time. The kids seem to enjoy it. They get to play against each other. And I also use this for math competition practices. I like to let the kids practice as much as they can when we're getting ready for competition. So this is a game that will help them with that, and they can choose whatever category they need to practice for their competition. Those are the 3 tools that I wanted to share with you. Thank you for your time.